Good morning, students. Students, today we are going to start our next chapter, atoms and molecules. So, at the end of this chapter, at the end of this video, you will be able to know about the ancient thoughts about atoms and molecules. You will be able to tell about the law of chemical combination. You will study about two laws, that is law of conservation of mass and law of definite proportion or law of constant composition. Then we will solve some numerical problems related to law of chemical combination, and in this video we will study about Dalton's atomic theory. We will study the main postulates of the theory. Then we will explain the law of chemical combination by this theory, and then we will study some limitations of this theory, Dalton's atomic theory. So, children, as early as the 6th century, the Greek philosophers stated that all matter could be broken down into four basic substances, that is, fire, air, water, and earth. But in the 5th century, people pondered further on the nature of the primitive elements and thought that there must be things that are still smaller, something which is common in every substance. This made them think deeper and discover the presence of ultimate smallest particle, the atom. So, ancient Indian and Greek philosophers have been thinking about what matter is ultimately made up of. It was around 500 BC 500 BC की बात है that Indian philosopher Maharishi Ganad he had postulated that matter is divisible, that matter can be divided into smaller particles. That is, if we go on breaking matter, we will get smaller and smaller particles, and ultimately, the particles obtained may be so small that they cannot be further divided. These indivisible particles were named as Parmanu. So, Maharishi Ganad gave the name Parmanu to these indivisible particles. He was of the thought that if we go on breaking matter, we will get smaller and smaller particles, and ultimately the particles obtained may be so small that they cannot be further divided. है ना, एक ऐसी स्टेज पहुंच जाएगी उनको फर्दर हम डिवाइड नहीं कर पाएंगे, तो उन्होंने इसको नाम दिया परमाणु. सॉरी. So, almost during the same period, ancient Greek philosopher Democritus, ये आप नाम याद रखोगे, Democritus. He was ancient Greek philosopher Democritus and Leucippus. They also put forward the same idea. However, they call the smallest indivisible particle as atom. एक ग्रीक वर्ड है एटमोस, जिससे ये वर्ड आया है एटम. Atomos means indivisible. So they give name atom. Atomos means uncuttable. So during the same era, it was also suggested by Indian philosopher Pakudha in the Pakudha Katyayana that in some cases, ये देखिए एक इंडियन फिलोसफर थे ये पकुधा कात्यायना. He was of the idea that in some cases the atoms they may not exist in free state but may exist in the combined state in the form of species called molecules or compounds. Molecules or compounds उन्होंने नाम नहीं दिया था, उन्होंने नाम दिया था अणु. ठीक है. So from this we may conclude that matter is made up of small particles which may be atoms or molecules. As different kinds of matter contain different types of atoms or molecules which have different properties, therefore different kinds of matter have different properties. But children, up to the 18th century, there were no experimental methods and results available to support the above philosophical ideas. However, towards the end of the 18th century, the fact had been established that pure substances can be either elements or compounds, which you already had studied in chapter number 2. Now the question was how and why the elements combine together to form compounds. So experimental studies were carried out to understand the laws according to which the elements combine to form compounds or substances react together to form products. So these laws are called laws of chemical combination. Laws of chemical combination. So we are going to discuss this in this section, laws of chemical combination. So children, whenever reactant react together to form the product or the elements combine together to form a compound, they do so according to certain laws. These laws are called laws of chemical combination. So by measuring accurately the masses of the substances involved, these laws, these two laws of chemical combinations were put forward. The law of conservation of mass and law of constant proportion. These are two laws, law of conservation of mass and law of constant proportion. So each of these law we will briefly describe here. So first is law of conservation of mass. So read this carefully. This law deals with the masses of the reactants and products of a chemical reaction. The law was put forward by Anthony Lavoisier in 1774. You have to note down this. It was put forward by Anthony Lavoisier in 1774, already given in your book. You may note from there, from your NCERT book. So what does this law state? This law states that mass can neither be created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. This means that during a chemical reaction, the sum of the masses of the reactants and products remain unchanged. Mass can neither be created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. In other words, we can say that in any chemical reaction, the total mass of the reactant is equal to the total mass of the product. So there is an activity given in your NCERT book. You can go through this activity. What is the activity? You have to take some sodium sulfate solution in a conical flask and some barium chloride solution in a ignition tube. So let us okay. So here is an activity. What you have to do, take some sodium sulfate solution in a conical flask. This is a conical flask and you have to take sodium sulfate solution in it and put some barium chloride solution in an ignition tube. You can see this tube. Barium chloride solution is taken in this tube. Hang the ignition tube in the flask by a thread and put a cork on the flask. ये cork आपने flask में ज़रूर लगाना है. Find the flask, put the flask on a balance. ये देखिए एक balance है, digital balance है, उसमें आपने रखना है, उसको weigh करना है ना? Weigh करने के बाद note down the mass of these both ignition tube and this conical flask and the solution within them. Then in the next step, what you have to do? Then tilt the flask. Second picture देखिए. Now you have to tilt this flask in the solution which is in conical flask. A chemical reaction will take place and sodium chloride and barium sulfate are formed. Then you have to find the mass of the flask again. फिर से आप इसको weighing machine पे रखेंगे और उसका mass दोबारा से weigh करेंगे. It will be seen that sum of the masses of the reactant and products remains unchanged. Reactant 1 क्या था? What was the reactant 1? Which was in conical flask? Sodium sulfate solution. And second reactant was barium chloride solution. And they form some product. है ना? क्या product बनाए उन्होंने? A chemical reaction takes place and sodium chloride and barium sulfate are फॉर्म्ड, यानी कि प्रोडक्ट एक बना और प्रोडक्ट टू, ये दो प्रोडक्ट्स बने, है ना. And when we find the mass of the flask again, it will be seen that the sum of the masses of the reactant and product remains unchanged. देखिए कितना था, 300.23 grams, और ये अनचेंज्ड रहा, इसमें कोई चेंज नहीं रहा. जबकि यहाँ पे रिएक्टेंट अलग थे, प्रोडक्ट अलग बना, है ना. आफ्टर द रिएक्शन बिटवीन रिएक्टेंट 1 एंड रिएक्टेंट 2, टू प्रोडक्ट्स वर फॉर्म्ड, और जब उनको वे किया गया तो it was seen that sum of the masses of the reactant and product remain unchanged. So this proves the law of conservation of mass. What was the law of conservation of mass? Mass can neither be created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. During a chemical reaction, the sum of the masses of the reactants and products remains unchanged. When barium chloride it reacted with sodium sulfate, we got barium sulfate and sodium chloride. Two products we got, and the mass of two products was equal to the mass of two reactants. There was no change in the mass of products. So this was the law of conservation of mass. Now we will start next the law of constant proportion. The law of constant proportion. So this law deals with the composition of elements present in a given compound. It was put forward by J.L. Proust in 1799. So you have to note down this. This was put forward by J.L. Proust in 1799. So it states, a chemical compound is always made up of the same elements combined together in the same fixed proportion by mass. आप यहाँ देखिए, this law of constant proportion states that in a chemical compound the elements are always present in a definite proportion by mass. So there are some examples to illustrate the law of constant proportion. One example is given here. For example, water. What is the formula of water? H2O. It always contains two elements of hydrogen. What does it mean? Two elements of hydrogen and oxygen. One atom of oxygen. Two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen, they combine together in the same ratio of 2:16 or 1:8 by mass. What does that mean? If 9 gram of water is decomposed, अगर इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस से हम इसको डिकम्पोज कर देते हैं, अलग अलग पार्ट्स में डिवाइड कर देते हैं, तो एक मॉलिक्यूल, वाटर के एक मॉलिक्यूल को, देन we will get 1 gram of hydrogen and 8 gram of oxygen. It means water always contains two elements, hydrogen and oxygen, combined in the ratio of 2:16 or 1:8 ratio by mass. That means if 9 gram of water is decomposed, we get 1 gram of hydrogen and 8 gram of oxygen. In the same manner, ammonia always contains two elements, nitrogen and hydrogen, combined together in the same ratio, that is 14:3 by mass. In the same manner, carbon dioxide can be prepared by any one of the following method. For example, if we burn charcoal in air, we will get, if we get carbon dioxide by burning charcoal in air, we will, have this reaction, carbon plus oxygen. When charcoal is burned in the presence of oxygen, all of you know that How do things burn? They burn in the presence of oxygen. It will give rise to carbon dioxide. Or by heating limestone, all of you know what is the formula of limestone? Calcium carbonate is limestone. When we heat limestone, we will get calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Okay. Or we can get carbon dioxide by adding dilute sulfuric acid on any carbonate. For example, हम अगर सोडियम बाइकार्बोनेट ले लेते हैं, ये फॉर्मूला है सोडियम बाइकार्बोनेट का, और इसमें थोड़ा सा डिल्यूट हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड डालते हैं तो वी विल गेट sodium chloride. NaCl is a formula of sodium chloride, some water, H2O, and carbon dioxide. Okay. Or we can get carbon dioxide by heating sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate को भी अगर हम हीट कर देते हैं तो we will get carbon dioxide. Sodium bicarbonate, NaHCO3. It is sodium carbonate. Sorry, in above reaction I said sodium bicarbonate, Na2CO3, that was sodium carbonate. ये sodium bicarbonate है, NaHCO3. और जब हम इसको हीट करते हैं we will get sodium carbonate, Na2CO3 plus water plus carbon dioxide. So it is found that in each case, चाहे हम चारकोल को बर्न कर रहे हैं, लाइमस्टोन को हीट कर रहे हैं, या फिर वी आर एडिंग हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड इन एनी कार्बोनेट, जैसे हमने सोडियम कार्बोनेट में ऐड किया था, और वी आर हीटिंग सोडियम बाइकार्बोनेट, इन ईच केस कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड इज फाउंड टू बी मेड अप टू द सेम एलिमेंट, है ना. सब में क्या बना? कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड बनी. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड गैस रिलीज हुई, लेकिन इसमें सेम एलिमेंट्स थे. कौन कौन से? कार्बन एंड ऑक्सीजन. दे वर कंबाइंड टुगेदर इन द सेम फिक्स रेशो. एक ही रेशो में थे वो. 12, अगर बाय मास हम देखें 12:32 के रेशो में, और 3:8 के रेशो में बाय मास. और अगर हम इसके एटम्स देखें तो 1 atom of carbon is combined with 2 atoms of oxygen in fixed ratio by mass, है ना. तो ये चाहे किसी भी एक्सपेरिमेंट से, किसी भी रिएक्शन के बाद कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड बन रही है, लेकिन कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड का फॉर्मूला CO2 ही रहेगा. और बाय मास इसका रेशो 3:8 या 12:32 ही रहेगा. So as the law of constant proportion is true, it helps us to calculate the percentage of any element in the given compound. So how can we calculate the percentage of any element in given compound? We can calculate this using this expression. So let us see. So we can calculate the percentage of any element in the given compound using this expression. Percentage of any element in the compound can be calculated by dividing mass of that given element by mass of compound and multiplying by with 100. This formula you will remember. Mass of that element, जिस एलिमेंट का आपको मास कैलकुलेट करना है, परसेंटेज ऑफ किसी भी एलिमेंट की परसेंटेज कैलकुलेट करनी है कंपाउंड में, तो उसकी मास को हम डिवाइड करेंगे टोटल मास ऑफ द कंपाउंड और मल्टीप्लाई कर देंगे 100 से. तो उसी के बेस पे ये देखिए एक न्यूमेरिकल दिया है बेस्ड ऑन लॉ ऑफ कंजर्वेशन ऑफ मास. हाउ कैन वी कैलकुलेट? देखिए क्या है. व्हेन 4.2 ग्राम ऑफ सोडियम हाइड्रोजन कार्बोनेट NaHCO3 is added to a solution of hydrochloric acid. ये 2 reactants are given, sodium hydrogen carbonate and hydrochloric acid. तो weight क्या है उनका? weighing 10.0 ग्राम it is observed that 2.2 gram of carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere. The residue left behind is found to weigh 12 gram. Show that these observations are in agreement with the law of conservation of mass. ये तो न्यूमेरिकल है रिलेटेड टू लॉ ऑफ कंजर्वेशन ऑफ मास. तो ये कैसे कर सकते हैं? ये तो बहुत सिंपल है. रिएक्टेंट क्या है हमारे पास? सोडियम हाइड्रोजन कार्बोनेट एंड हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड. और प्रोडक्ट्स क्या हैं? सोडियम क्लोराइड, वाटर एंड कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. अब देखिए जो मासेस दिए हैं, मास ऑफ रिएक्टेंट कितना दिया है? मास ऑफ सोडियम हाइड्रोजन कार्बोनेट कितना दिया है? 4.2 ग्राम्स. और मास ऑफ हाइड्रोक्लोरिक सोल्यूशन कितना दिया है? 10 ग्राम्स. और प्रोडक्ट का टोटल मास हमें कितना दिया है? प्रोडक्ट का नहीं दिया है, पर हम दोनों को ऐड करते हैं तो टोटल मास ऑफ रिएक्टेंट कितना आता है? 14.2 ग्राम. अब मास ऑफ प्रोडक्ट देख लीजिए. मास ऑफ कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड दिया हुआ है आपको 2.2 ग्राम्स. यहाँ से देखिए ऊपर से. मास ऑफ रेजिड्यू मतलब कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड अगर उससे इलेबोरेट हो गई, निकल गई, तो रेजिड्यू क्या बचते हैं? सोडियम क्लोराइड और वाटर. उन दोनों का कितना दिया है आपको? मास 12 ग्राम. और इन दोनों को ऐड करेंगे तो 14.2 ग्राम्स आता है. तो ये प्रूव कर रहे हैं लॉ ऑफ कंजर्वेशन ऑफ मास को. that is mass of product is equal to mass of reactant. There is no loss or gain of mass during the reaction. So hence the given observation proves the law of conservation of mass. So this numerical is related to based on law of conservation of mass. Now we will solve some numericals related to constant proportion, law of constant proportion. So here is a problem related to law of constant proportion. So read it. Copper oxide was prepared by two different methods. Copper oxide is prepared by two different methods. In one case, 1.75 gram of the metal gave 2.19 gram of oxide. In the second case, 1.14 gram of metal gave 1.43 gram of oxide. Show that the given data illustrate the law of constant proportion. So first of all, we will take first case. In case 1, mass of copper is 1.75 grams. It is given. And mass of copper oxide, it is also given 2.9 gram of oxide. Now percentage of copper in the oxide we can calculate by that formula, mass of given element divided by mass of total compound multiplied by 100, है ना. तो मास गिवन का एलिमेंट कौन सा है? कॉपर. तो कॉपर का मास क्या है? 1.75 ग्राम. एंड मास ऑफ द होल कंपाउंड इज ऑल्सो गिवन 2.19 gram, and multiply by 100 you will get the percentage of copper in that oxide, that is 79.9%. And how can we calculate the percentage of oxygen? Simple, 100% है तो भी 100% में से 79.9 कॉपर हो गया तो उसको माइनस कर दो, तो जो बच गया दैट विल बी 20.1% विल बी ऑक्सीजन. अब सेकंड केस में क्या हो रहा है देखिए. इन सेकंड केस मास ऑफ कॉपर इज गिवन 1.14 ग्राम and mass of copper oxide is given 1.43 grams. Now how to calculate percentage of copper in the oxide? अब कॉपर का मास आपको दिया है, कॉपर का मास दिया है और साथ में आपको कंपाउंड का मास भी पता है, वो भी आपको दिया है. तो हाउ कैन वी कैलकुलेट? mass of that element divided by mass of the compound multiply by 100. तो एलिमेंट्स कौन सा है? कॉपर 1.14 ग्राम डिवाइडेड बाय मास ऑफ द कंपाउंड, इट इज़ गिवन 1.43 ग्राम मल्टीप्लाई बाय 100. सो वी विल गेट परसेंटेज ऑफ कॉपर इन कॉपर ऑक्साइड, दैट इज 79.7%. एंड परसेंटेज ऑफ ऑक्सीजन इन दैट केस विल बी, यस 100 में से उसको माइनस कर दीजिए, 100 माइनस 79.7, you will get 20.3% of oxygen in copper sulfate. So copper oxide prepared by any of the given method contains copper and oxygen in the same proportion. अगर आप देखेंगे केस 1 देखिए और केस 2 देखिए तो सेम प्रोपोर्शन आ रहा है। केस 1 में व्हाट इज़ द परसेंटेज ऑफ कॉपर 79.9% in case second 79.7%. And what is the percentage of oxygen in first case? 20.1%. In second case also it is 20.3% approximately. So we can say that any element prepared by any of the given method contain that element and the other element of the compound in the same proportion by mass. जैसे अगर कॉपर ऑक्साइड की बात कर रहे हैं हम, कॉपर ऑक्साइड चाहे किसी भी मेथड से प्रिपेयर हुआ है कॉपर ऑक्साइड, लेकिन उसमें कॉपर और ऑक्सीजन का प्रोपोर्शन सेम ही रहेगा, है ना। कुछ एक्सपेरिमेंटल एरर हो सकते हैं लेकिन प्रोपोर्शन सेम ही रहेगा। सो हैंस इट प्रूव्स द लॉ ऑफ कांस्टेंट proportion, law of constant proportion. So let us calculate the mass of carbon. We want to calculate the mass of carbon present in 2 gram of carbon dioxide. So we know that carbon dioxide contains carbon and oxygen in fixed proportion by mass, which is 12:32, या 3:8. This means that 3 gram of carbon combines with 8 gram of oxygen to form 11 grams of carbon dioxide. In other words, we can say that 11 gram of carbon dioxide contain carbon, how much grams? 3 grams, and 2 grams of carbon dioxide contain carbon, how much? कैसे करेंगे? 3 divided by 11 multiply by 2, तो कितना आ जाएगा? It will come approximately 0.545 grams. So we can calculate the mass of carbon present in any mass of carbon dioxide. ठीक है, जितना हमें मास दिया हो उससे हमने मल्टीप्लाई कर देना है। 3 divided by 11 मल्टीप्लाई बाय जितना भी हमें मास दिया है। ठीक है, so this is all about the law of constant proportion and law of conservation of mass. Now you will calculate some numericals given in your NCERT book on page number 32. First question is related to law of conservation of mass. In a reaction, 5.3 gram of sodium carbonate reacted with 6 gram of ethanoic acid. The products were 2.2 grams of carbon dioxide, 0.9 grams water and 8.2 grams of sodium ethanoate. Show that these observations are in agreement with the law of conservation of mass. So everything is given to you. This was the question. In a reaction, this gram of sodium carbonate reacted with 6 gram of ethanoic acid, and the product were 2.2 grams of carbon dioxide, 0.9 gram of water and 8.2 gram of sodium ethanoate. Show that these observations are in agreement with the law of conservation of mass. So reactants are given here, products are given here, their masses are given here. What you have to do? Just you have to prove that these observations are in agreement with the law of conservation of mass. That is, mass of reactant is always equal to mass of प्रोडक्ट। तो सिंपल है, आपको ऐड करना है और देखना है कि मास ऑफ रिएक्टेंट प्रोडक्ट मास ऑफ प्रोडक्ट के इक्वल आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा है। सेकंड है हाइड्रोजन एंड ऑक्सीजन कंबाइन इन द रेशियो ऑफ 1:8 बाय मास टू फॉर्म वाटर। व्हाट मास ऑफ ऑक्सीजन गैस वुड बी रिक्वायर्ड टू रिएक्ट कम्प्लीटली विद 3 ग्राम ऑफ हाइड्रोजन गैस। तो अभी हमने ये किया है, आप ये करेंगे नेक्स्ट है विच पॉस्टुलेट ऑफ डाल्टन एटॉमिक थ्योरी इज रिजल्ट ऑफ द लॉ ऑफ कंजर्वेशन ऑफ मास। तो ये क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 और 2 आप सॉल्व करेंगे अपनी नोटबुक्स पे। और अभी हम पढ़ेंगे डाल्टन्स एटॉमिक थ्योरी, डाल्टन्स एटॉमिक थ्योरी। तो उसके बाद आप ये नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन नंबर 3 और 4 सॉल्व करेंगे। So students, after the two laws of chemical combination were put forward, the next task before the scientists was to give a suitable explanation of these laws. So this led John Dalton, who started his career as a school teacher in England and rose to be a great scientist, to put forward a theory in 1808 about the nature of matter. So the theory is based on the concept of divisibility of matter, which was put forward by the ancient philosopher. The theory is based on certain postulates called postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. Postulates of Dalton atomic theory. So to study these postulates of Dalton atomic theory, I am going to play this video. Watch this video carefully and note down all the postulates of theory in your notebook.
An ancient Greek philosopher, Democritus, had proposed the concept of atoms. Atom comes from the Greek word atomos, which means indivisible. So all forms of matter is made up of these particles, atom, which is the smallest unit of all forms of matter, that is everything. The first scientific theory about atoms was given by a scientist named John Dalton. He said that atom is a solid hard sphere. It is neutral, that is, it has no charge on it. So according to Dalton, an atom is a solid hard sphere. He gave some other points about the atoms. Let's see. So according to Dalton, all matter is made up of tiny particles called atoms. Like a wall is made up of small bricks, similarly all forms of matter is made up of tiny particles called atoms. If you take a small piece of banana and you take a bigger piece, so you taste both, you know that a small piece of banana tastes the same as a bigger piece of banana. Similarly, if you take a small piece of watermelon, it tastes the same as the entire big piece of watermelon. But does a banana taste like watermelon? No, they are different. Similarly, all atoms of the same element are alike. So this is a gold ring, this is a silver ring. Let's see the atoms of a gold ring. So you see that all atoms of gold, they are alike. Now let's see the atoms of a silver ring. So you observe that all atoms of silver are alike. So all atoms of the same element are alike, but the atoms of gold, they were different from the atoms of silver. So all atoms of the same element are alike, but they are different from the atoms of different elements. Group of children in a school. You know, you cannot fix any number to that. It can be any number. Similarly, if there's a number of people sitting at a tea stall, this can be any number. So you cannot fix any number to the group of people who are sitting at a tea stall. But if we talk of a cricket team, say Indian cricket team, we know a fixed number of players play a match. Similarly, when atoms combine, they combine in fixed proportions to form compounds. So compounds are formed when atoms of different elements combine in fixed proportions. So these are hydrogen atoms, these are oxygen atoms. So when two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom combine, they form a water molecule. So these atoms, they always combine in fixed proportions to form compounds. So atoms of different elements, whenever they combine in fixed proportions, they form compound. In this case, hydrogen atoms combine with oxygen atoms in fixed proportions to form water. Alright, say we are given 4 materials. We are given bricks, cement, marble and granite. And we have to make different structures of buildings from these. You know, just by rearranging these 4 materials in different forms, you can form a number of different structures. You can form buildings, pyramids, Taj Mahal, fort. The basic materials remain the same. That is the bricks, granite, marble, cement. But a different rearrangement of these particles enables you to form a number of different structures. Similarly, a chemical reaction involves a rearrangement of atoms and not a change in the atoms. So these atoms, they remain the same. But whenever a chemical reaction is taking place, these atoms rearrange. The basic building blocks, that is the atoms, they do not change. They only rearrange to give a chemical reaction. So according to Dalton, what takes part in a chemical reaction? So the Dalton's theory says that atom is the smallest particle of all forms of matter. Hence, atom takes part in a chemical reaction.
You can further understand Dalton's atomic theory with the help of this animated video. First postulate of the theory: all matter, whether an element, a compound or mixture, is made up of very tiny particles called atoms. So note down the first postulate of the theory. Second, all atoms of a given element are identical in size, mass and chemical properties. All atoms of a given element are identical in size, mass and chemical properties. Next postulate: atoms of different elements differ in size, mass and chemical properties. For example, देखिए दो दिए यहाँ पे, iron and sulfur. So iron is different in its size, mass and chemical properties, and sulfur is different. देखिए size different है दोनों का. They will measure their mass with the help of this balance. So their masses will also differ. Mass of iron is more than mass of sulfur. They also have different chemical properties. Atoms are indivisible particles which can neither be created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. They are indivisible particles जिनको ना क्रिएट किया जा सकता है ना डिस्ट्रॉय किया जा सकता है केमिकल रिएक्शन में. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आयरन और सल्फर का ही एग्जाम्पल लिया गया है. आयरन एंड सल्फर दे मेक अ न्यू कंपाउंड, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है कि आयरन से कुछ और बन गया, सल्फर से कुछ और बन गया. कंपाउंड में आयरन और सल्फर के एटम्स एक फिक्स रेशो में वैसे ही रहेंगे. जैसे देखिए इसमें 1:1 रेशो है रिएक्टेंट में, तो कंपाउंड में भी 1:1 रेशो है. So in a chemical reaction, atoms only get rearranged. Atoms of an element does not change into a chemical reaction. एग्जाम्पल दिया है सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड जब रिएक्ट करता है हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड के साथ तो नया कंपाउंड क्या बनता है, सोडियम क्लोराइड प्लस वाटर. अब देखिए इसमें लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में जितने सोडियम है उतने ही राइट हैंड साइड में भी रहेंगे. So these were the main postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. Now you have to solve question number 3 and 4. Which postulates of Dalton's atomic theory is the result of the law of conservation of mass? अभी आपने देखा. And which postulate of Dalton's atomic theory can explain the law of definite proportion? तो I hope आपको सभी बहुत अच्छे से समझ आ गए होंगे सभी postulates. So you will do this portion, exercise portion given on page number 32 of your textbook, and you will post your homework on my personal number. So this is all about today. So tomorrow we will study about atom and the modern day symbols of atom of different elements, and we will learn how to calculate atomic mass and how do atoms exist. So thank you for today.